After coming to the United States to work hard for decades, why did my friends get divorced recently? 10 years of life and death are so vast that I cannot forget them without thinking about them. Thousands of miles of lonely tomb, no place to speak of desolation. Even if we meet each other, we should not know each other. Our faces are covered with dust and our temples are like frost. At night, I suddenly returned to my hometown with a deep dream. I was dressing up outside the small window. They looked at each other without words, only 1,000 lines of tears. It is expected that the broken part of the intestines will be cut off every year. On a bright moonlit night, there will be short pines. This Songjong Chengzi is Sushi's masterpiece. It expresses his longing for his deceased wife, as well as his unwillingness and melancholy about the separation of lovers. It can be regarded as an eternal masterpiece, as the writing is like the person. We can imagine the deep feelings of layman Dongbo. However, emotional matters are very complicated and constantly changing. There is another story about Sushi below, which is not so romantic. Sushi once had a concubine called Chen Niang, who was extremely beautiful. One of his friends fell in love with Chen Niang and hoped to exchange his horse for this beautiful concubine. Dongpo layman calculated that in addition to Chen Niang, he also had several concubines whom he loved, and he would not suffer any loss if he replaced his concubines with his BMW, so he readily agreed. Su Dongpo was a great talent and had always been free and easy. He probably thought that beauty was like clothes, so he changed them accordingly. But what he never expected was that this piece of clothing was actually very spiritual and had its own thoughts. The ending of this story is that after Chen Niang learned the news, she would rather die than obey, and scolded Sushi. Fortunately, you are still a world-famous bachelor. You talk about caring for women, but you don't take my feelings into consideration at all. And you use a living person comes in exchange for a horse. Then this fierce woman Chen Niang hit a locust tree and died. When I think of Sushi's story, I mainly lament that the beautiful wine of love can sometimes turn sour. Talking about the friends around us, most of them are like us. They left their hometowns and traveled across the ocean to come to this foreign country to seek life and development. 20 or 30 years have passed, from the novelty and unfamiliarity at the beginning, to the hardships of studying and the difficulty of making a living. Everyone has probably experienced setbacks and confusion, and of course there will also be successes and joys. Over the past few decades, no matter which industry or profession we are engaged in, everyone has basically stabilized. With cars, houses, families, and children, it is logically time to start enjoying life. However, the actual situation is quite disappointing. In recent years, several friends around me have had marital problems. Some are divorcing and need the mediation of friends, and several couples have completely broken up and turned from husband and wife to strangers. What is even more embarrassing is that there are some friends who have changed from lovers to strangers. The jealous enemies made a fuss all over the place. Some of these couples can be regarded as natural enemies. They have been fighting and fighting since the beginning of their marriage. No one is surprised that they finally broke up. However, some of our recently divorced friends have been friends with us for more than 20 years, and their relationship as husband and wife has always been good. Along the way, I witnessed them sharing hardships and joys. Now that the children are older and the burden of life has become lighter, this irreparable break has occurred. I really feel sorry for them. Among them, the most surprising one is a couple recognized by everyone as a model couple. The couple started dating in high school and successfully entered into marriage, walking hand in hand for more than 30 years now. Both of them are engaged in high-paying jobs, and their families are very prosperous. The couple achieved financial freedom early. They didn't have a child until they were in their 40s. This child was hard-won, but he was very smart and very lovable. Logically speaking, such a family can be said to be perfect. However, what surprised each of our friends was that one of them had an affair during the epidemic, and as a result, a good family was ruined. Life spans only a few decades, apart from childhood when one is ignorant of worldly affairs and old age when cognitive decline occurs. Most of the time is actually spent with one's partner. This is why people often regard being widowed in middle age as one of the 3 most painful things in life. When people reach middle age, family changes will be a very heavy blow to both parties in the marriage. However, Why do some friends who live a good life want to artificially break up their marriages? There are several modes among them. One is that with the different development of their respective careers, the social status of the husband and wife has changed, but each other has not made corresponding adjustments. For example, one party's career is very successful, and honor, status, and power come one after another, so that they are no longer satisfied with equal status in the family. Emotions are two-sided, and it won't work to be too hot-headed. Even if they get together by chance, if the relationship between the two parties cannot be balanced, it will still be difficult to last. Many of the peacock women and phoenix men that everyone often discusses are caused by problems in this area after the status of both parties changed. The main reason is that both parties have not deepened their trust in each other in every aspect of their married life, and have not paid attention to constantly adapting and adjusting amid changes. Another one, of course, is an affair. I have seen many people write articles or memoirs denouncing the interference of third parties. In fact, an affair is just a symptom, and the real reason comes from interchanges and the decrease in trust between the couple. Life is constantly changing. When the relationship between husband and wife grows and fails to overcome the trivialities and pressures of life, it is easy to be disturbed by external temptations. Of course, some are due to personal bad habits or vanity, and this is possible for both men and women. Usually, what everyone notices is mostly the man's cheating. In fact, there are also many examples of cheating on the other half of the sky. The third one is doing. In layman's terms, it means that one party in the family is unwilling to change his or her temper, or is unwilling to accommodate the other party. In the final analysis, this point is that the husband and wife lack trust and have no equal status in the family. In fact, no matter whether you are a wealthy person or a top scholar, since we have decided to live a life together, it is a matter between two ordinary people. If you want happiness and harmony, you must think more about each other. The principle of don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you also applies to families. Of course, the epidemic is also a factor. Looking at some of the friends around me, they have always been bumpy, but after so many years of making small fuss, everything is fine. However, due to the epidemic, everyone had to stay at home all day long. Over the past 2 or 3 years, there has been a lack of distance between husband and wife. As the saying goes, distance creates beauty. Of course, couples who have a good relationship may become closer because of this, but those couples who have conflicts, because there is no distance, the conflicts cannot be alleviated, so they intensify and finally reach the point of being out of control. At the beginning of the article, sushi was used as a negative teaching material. In fact, no one is perfect. May we live forever and share the beauty of the moon thousands of miles apart. I wish all lovers in the world good luck and complete happiness.
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.